Good luck.
Because I was like, I got to do that reading for
Hello,
Sadie.
everybody. This is Elijah Keating from WisdomSeekers.net, and we're here today with the inimitable Elizabeth. And if you don't know who Sabi is, I don't know why, because she's one of the best animal communicators we have. So, how do I start this?
I think we did.
Dead silence. Dead silence.
I think we did.
Yeah. Are we? I guess we should make sure we're actually live, because I don't want to get.
We're live.
All right, because I don't have a live icon on my thing,
I
don't want.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm just getting it.
Yeah, I don't want to get halfway through and have to say, "Oh, let's start
from the beginning."
No, we're fine. If I start, hi Spirit, hi Sogo, hello Camille. Wow, everybody's here. Sogo, how are we all faring with the snow? We have like 4 inches here today. I'm not going outside.
I thought I would have a pajama day, which underneath this blanket is pajamas, although I'm wearing real clothes up top. And then I remembered it was spa day for Rusty at 10 a.m. this morning. So he's at the beauty salon today, having a great time. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so first off, before we do too much, tell me what are we planning to do?
Okay, so this is Sabi has generously offered to allow us to do a live path reading for her on here, and that's to show y'all what a life path reading is. A life path reading is sort of like a compatibility reading, but it's directed directly at you, and it looks at your life and your path right now and kind of helps you find ways to make some adjustments if you need them, or get a little bit of direction if you don't have it. And it again looks in 5 main areas, right? But with the life path reading, I also add a left and a right spirit animal or energy. Okay, so it will look at your dream world, your dreams, your ambitions, your goals, and things like that. And then it looks at your material, real world. Then it goes into like your goals, your life goals, and where you're going in life. And it looks at your intellect. And a lot of people get a little leery of that, but there you go. Mind is part of our body. Then it looks at the whole where you are at this exact moment. And then I add a left and a right spirit animal. And these are animals that are helping you. These are not your spirit animal. Okay, your individual spirit animal that's with you always. These are the animals that are helping you along this path. Right? And sometimes their job is to knock you off that path, and it can be negative. And sometimes their job is to keep you on that path, and it can be positive. And that's what we look at. And so those are the influences in your life. And that's what life path reading is. They're really an in-depth reading.
Okay, I have a question about that.
Sure.
I have been getting over and over again suggestions that March and June are going to be life-changing events for many people. And I don't know. So the direction is going this way. March and June should bring us over, could be that way, that way, that way, away from us.
Yeah.
How will that affect the life path reading if they get hit by the energy of March and June?
It better not be a hurricane, Elijah. Just saying.
I think March is out of the season for hurricanes.
Tropical storm.
Yeah. So just saying.
Yeah. No, but I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Sabi. You should be fine.
You think?
We do have life events that can knock us off our paths. Okay. But they can also knock us onto the path we were supposed to be on. Or
So
they
why
can
do they
be-
have to use sledgehammers? I'm just asking.
No, I'm addressing that issue on the Friday 15-minute video on Dreams and Visions. You should watch it.
I usually do.
You might be there.
Yeah. They can knock us off our life path. They can also knock us in a different direction that we never considered going. Okay. Some people have a hard time getting back up, you know, when they're knocked down. I know I do. But when I get up, I come up swinging. So, you know, they're how events affect our life path, right? They may affect the outside, the material world, all right? But your spiritual direction is the core of you. It's an aspect of the essence of you, okay? And this is where the hard choices are made, okay? And so that's where a life path reading can help. If you're having issues, if you've been knocked off of your life path, they can give you some minor ways of kind of clawing your way back up or making some adjustments that you need to make. So it's a very good reading in that aspect. I often get asked, do I use them on myself? I'm not going to lie, there have been some decisions that I have sat down and I have done a life path reading to see if I'm okay, I'm where I need to be. So yeah, I do use them on occasion for myself, not often. More likely to use the compatibility because I want to know what that SOB is thinking about me, you know. So there you go.
I'm going to throw a wrench in here. I have a very strong hunch that Sabi's due for a life path change. Will that show up in her reading?
Yeah, it can. Like if you're doing this with a tarot deck, all right. Oftentimes, you know, the tarot deck, a lot of people do this reading with cards. Oftentimes the cards can show up, if it ever shows up in a full reverse, where every card is turned upside down, you are dealing with somebody that is in an unstable life path. All right. So what you are reading is only a possibility or a probability, and you need to quickly figure out how probable and what's going on. And this can bring the reading in a completely different direction. You can do things like you can pull correction cards, okay, or you can look for correction information. If you're not doing it with cards, it can become a little bit more difficult because you don't get that visual clue in that this person is in drastic change, but you may get in the image of a snake, all right?
Power.
Right, transmutation. You can get like the infinity symbol or the spiral symbol in a vision that can tell you that this person is not in a stable life path. And so those are some clues in case y'all are interested in that side of things. So, but yeah, a person can be in an unstable life path. They can be in a situation of drastic change, and you will see that in a full reverse. So if you get a spiral going in the wrong direction, you know, you're dealing with something, like I deal a lot with the spendthrift and the probabilities, the plane of this is hard to explain. This is probably more of an in-depth, but the plane of where possibility and reality merge, and that thin line that's just in between where that person is. Okay. So that can show up very chaotic in that area. If your focus is in that area of the energy, or you're using a scrying device like a crystal ball, there's so many ways to do this. You don't have to do it one way. Most people, Sabi probably could do it for herself, really. She's just being generous and allowing me to show y'all. So
You're being very generous.
No,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this. Yeah.
So
But you're
yeah,
still very
that's
generous.
yeah, that's where we're looking. It does show up in a reading. It can, will, and it can and will. What sometimes will not show up in the reading is traumatic world events. okay? Because we're just not looking in that direction.
You mean like Texas, Louisiana?
Right, Texas and Louisiana, the freaking
Pandemics.
pandemics. Actually, I did a reading for somebody, which was really weird, right before the pandemic started. And I remember telling this person an odd thing. And then I was thinking something's going on because it keeps coming up. This is not the first person I've told, it keeps coming up. And then when the pandemic started, and I told like 4 or 5 people the same thing. I couldn't figure out why. When the pandemics started, that particular person came back and said, "This is what you meant, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking."
That's exactly what I meant.
Yes.
I usually find though, when I'm doing readings that, like today was Friday, I do the YouTube, usually there is a theme. And there was, the theme today was duck, ground and duck. For the week, except for one lady, she had get up and surf the store. Like, okay, but
you can see, yeah, major events will start to thread through a lot of lives, and that's why I like people to post their dreams on Dreams and Visions. By the way, oftentimes I'm searching your dreams for threads. If everybody starts dreaming the same thing, that's a clue something's fixing to go on, something's fixing to go down. That's why I like to do your dreams. That's why it's should be the most inexpensive reading I do.
I told Elizabeth about my dream about her, and the first thing she asked is if she was alive, and I'm like, funny, Elijah asked if it was a cemetery. I'm like, no, I didn't feel death.
I was like perfectly okay with that. I was, you know, that was funny. I laughed so hard, y'all. I mean, I laughed so hard, Puppy left the room. She was like, "I'm done."
Really? Puppy left you?
Yeah.
I'm amazed.
She's so needy lately. Oh my God. But yeah, no, we begin to see threads through people's lives. And this is more of an in-depth. We can maybe do this as, I hope somebody's taking, hey, Spirit Feather, are you taking notes? We can.
She says this is exciting.
Yeah, we can monitor through dreams. We can begin to monitor things that may be coming up because people start dreaming along the same lines.
Well, why don't we put up a dream thread on the Wisdom Seekers group?
Yeah, because when you start
on Dreams and Visions,
I would love that. I would love that because I read those dreams. I may not do a free interpretation on them, where every once in a while I'll throw people a nice little quip on Dreams and Visions
and
on
then
their
at
dreams.
the end you'll say, if you want a full reading.
Yeah, if you want a full reading on that. But yeah, I'm really more interested in, is this starting to be everyone? Is everyone dreaming of crashing cars? Is everyone dreaming of floods? Is everyone dreaming of ducks? Let's use ducks. Or water birds.
Spirit had a dream, and it was, she dreamt, she was actually thrown out of her dream. She was fighting demons around Wisdom Seekers.
Yeah.
And I told her, I don't want you doing that. Please, you just leave that to Vero and I.
Yeah, Vero is a very powerful burn them up and kill them all energy.
Yeah, he loves that. we're gonna go after that dream in tonight or tomorrow. But it was. But Spirit is such a gentle soul. I said, no, I don't ever want you doing that.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because not too long ago I had a dream where I was in a spiritual war with a demonic entity.
Then you call me, hey?
Hey,
that's
no, I
my
dealt
area.
with it. Yeah, no, I dealt with it. You know me. I woke up and said, like, no, this is my world. You need to go back to yours. But it was just a dream. The dream was actually representation of an event. And I'm thinking this one, this freaking freeze.
It's pretty demonic.
Yeah. So I
start
start looking for things like that. but I don't want to like take too much away from what we're doing right now. I really want to do, I've been looking forward to this reading.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Um,
say I should bow out
yeah.
and you guys should start.
Yeah, because I really have an admiration for Sadie, and I really have been so looking forward to this.
And let
So,
me tell you, to get Elizabeth's admiration, it takes a lot of work.
it does. It does take a lot of work. So, but yeah, so if there's afterwards, maybe we can answer a few questions on what a life path reading is, if you have any still. But I'm hoping this will intrigue y'all enough that y'all will say, hey, maybe I want one of those.
Well,
And,
that's what we're hoping. But
I can come out with
when it comes to the part where you ask questions like that, I'm going to come back on.
Okay.
And because I like to ask questions too.
Yeah, we noticed. We all learn from each other. That's part of being in this community, is the ability to be able to learn from each other. I've learned a lot. So yeah.
Take it away.
Hi, Sadie.
Hi, Beth. How's it going?
It's going great. I'm not cold anymore.
That is good. You have water now?
No, we do not have water yet.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
it's a good thing that this is video.
And not bath time.
Yeah. I haven't had a bath in a while and haven't been able to wash my clothes either. So before we start, because this is live, if there's any areas you don't want looked at, just mentally wall those off right now.
Okay. I'm pretty open.
Okay, and if we do begin to touch on stuff, just say, not right now. Okay, and we'll go a different direction.
Sounds good.
Right. And I actually try to do that with everyone I do a reading for, unless it's written, and then you just get what I get, and I just say a prayer.
The original life one that you did for me a few years ago, that was a written one, and I do go back to it quite often.
Oh yeah, I love the written because in the lives I can sometimes feed off the person's energy and I will miss something, whereas it's just in the written, I'm just there and I'm just having to take what I'm getting, even if it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of difference in those. But I love doing the written because and a lot of times I can sort of zone out and get lost without the other person going, what are you tripping to? Come back. So are you ready to start?
I am.
Awesome. So we're going to start. This is sort of a directional reading. We're going to use the compass to find our direction. And we're going to start where the sun rises in the east. All right. We're going to talk about your dreams. These are your core dreams. All right. These are sort of what you started with, what makes you. Okay. And in that area, you've gotten off track.
Very much so.
Right. You had a different idea of your life at one time. Yeah, I think as a child, you probably dreamed you were like some kind of superhero. Let's just go there. And life didn't match. It's kind of that feeling where the higher expectation of what you really thought that you would be right now wasn't met. The reality, though, right, is you're finding your way back to that. Okay. See, the thing about us is we are going to be who we are going to be. If you're a writer, you write. Now, you may not publish, you may not become well known, but you're going to find a way to do that. right? If you're an artist, you find a way to be an art. And in this thing, you are beginning to find a way back. Okay, so you're touching into like you've pushed this so far down because it just represents disappointment. So you kind of like, you know, I'm gonna hide this. And you're not an easy person to get around that, by the way. So yeah,
I know.
it was hard. Hard dealing with people in our field, because when we don't want it, we just
Block it.
can, right. So what I'm getting is the edges of it. Which is weird because I got a metallic taste in my mouth. Right? So this is an implication of earth magics, healing, herbalism, understanding the way healing works. I'm hoping this makes sense.
Mhm.
But it's understanding the way that healing works, not necessarily the way people understand it, but on the in-depth levels, the molecular levels, how the body responds or should respond. What's the mental drive behind a person not getting better when they should? These are things that you could understand through this, what you were meant to be, right? What you always were sort of driven towards. Okay. Weirdly enough, you're in a profession that seems like it should bring you to that level, but it's only meeting your financial needs and not the needs of this dream. Okay. So I hope that made sense too. Okay.
I don't know, because I'm certainly not paid an awful lot for what I do, and I actually feel very comfortable and confident in what I do, and I love what I do. Certainly, I think if I look back at my childhood at this point, I would have loved to have been some sort of elf or fairy, or I was very grounded in the mystical, magical. I believed in, well, I still believe in fairies, and it wouldn't shock me to see a being from another genre in my life. It certainly wouldn't scare me or shock me. So I guess that mystical, magical part of things is not in the profession that I'm grounded in at the moment. So
Right. It's a job and it has parameters.
yes, very much.
I mean, certainly you can't come in with a concoction and rub it on somebody's forehead and say, this is going to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'm not even supposed to hug people at this point. So
yeah. So
which
this is,
doesn't stop me, but you know.
yeah. I could see that. It's like, watch this.
See how it works?
Yeah. Close human contact is very healing, and so that pull is there, even though the rule says the pull is there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, this is definitely what we're talking about. The job beats the material.
Yes.
Okay, but it's not elevating the spiritual.
Correct.
Right. So we need to shift. There needs to be. I wouldn't say quit your job. Do not ever think that I will tell you to quit your job. That's not what I'm saying, but you need to find another outlet. Okay. A hobby. Right. You do a lot of animal readings. I've used you. Okay. Yeah. But you also need to get back into that touch with deeper, into that natural earth magic.
Okay.
Okay. Because that is part of your life path. That's kind of, you're not off it, but you're like on the slope.
Yeah, it is explaining it in a car trip, say to California. I've made a veer to Saskatchewan and then a veer, like I find myself centering on that quite often. But then I go off to Nova Scotia for a while, right? So
Right, yeah. So yeah, so there's an area in your life path that can use some adjustments. Are you ready for the next part?
you betcha.
You have any questions about this one?
Not yet.
So we moved to the south, right, which is our real world applications, material, financial. You're actually a really stable person, much more stable than other people in this area. Not in the monetary, like not in what you have, okay, but in how you handle it and how you manage it. All right. So like I would need you to come in and help me manage my stuff. I would like that. So,
I find this quite surprising, actually.
I think that might surprise you because you have this you make things last, right? You know where they need to be applied. You know where you need to hold off on. Okay. You have this ability to manage. Where I see the problem in this is a lot of times that is overwhelmed with life. All right. A lot of times we get into the manage, which really oddly enough, I got really calm in this part of your reading. I'm like, oh, phew, okay. But at the same time, there's this feeling that it's Coast Guard calm. Let's use that. It's Coast Guard calm. You know, they talk about how well people in the Coast Guard can compartmentalize their emotions. So they can be like going right into a hurricane where all hell is breaking loose and, you know, dropping down off the helicopter to rescue somebody in 20-foot seas. And you know,
eating a sandwich.
Yes, and they'll get the message over the radio. Hey, the world's ending. Roger that. World ending. You know, is the kind of calm I feel, but it's calm that was built up in response to dealing with all this stuff all the time. Okay, it's not per se a natural calm. It's a learned, it's a learned exercise calm, and you have learned to manage really well. Right? We manage things so well that I wish you would come into my kitchen and fix it. And take a look at my finances and help me out. This is this a strong lesson?
See my house. My house is clean, but that's a lot because of my daughter. I am chaotic in my house. I'm just looking around and there's like colors and plants and things hanging here and there. My bank account. No, I spend money. I have money. I just spend it. Yeah, so I'm having a hard time sort of relating to that because I see that part of my life as chaotic. I don't know. Yeah.
Right. You're inside of it.
Yeah, probably.
You're inside of it. If you would ask that person in the Coast Guard who's flying that helicopter, he'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? There's winds over here and there's flags over there and I'm fixing to fall. And this is all going through his mind. Right? But he is managing.
Yes. Okay. That makes sense.
Managing.
Okay.
Right. Managing the situation. And this calm, right? You've developed a calm. Right? This is going on. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Very definitely.
But I will take this and I will deal with it in this moment. All right. Here's where we get to the tricky part. All right. This is the adjustment that needs to be made. Right. This was built up in you but it's not disciplined. So we get the image of a frog in the rain. The frog calls the rain. The frog, we say the frogs call the rain. They start chirping, the rain comes. You need to begin to clean up. Right? You need to learn how to harness that. And you need to begin to direct it correctly. Right? You have the power. Okay. You're managing. We've talked about that. You got this calm in the moment. I'm gonna take care of this. Bam, it's done.
Yes.
Okay. That's managing. But now we need to transform it to discipline. Okay, we need to clean it up. We need to cleanse it out. And we need to start recognizing where we can harness it. Maybe not dealing with just in the moment, right? But foreseeing what you're capable of, what I need, the structure I need. And you need to start developing that in your life. So no longer manage, but discipline with that strength.
Like almost
Okay, so that's-
creating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, creating instead of managing. There's a difference,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
There's a difference. I can manage to hit someone. Let's use, I love martial arts. So let's use that. I can manage to hit someone. I can manage to block somebody from hitting me. But in discipline, I can hit them precisely.
Yes.
And I know when to block. So I'm not overreaching, overspending, over grasping, right? That calm that you have in the moment needs to be expanded, and you need to clean it up, right? It needs to become more than a reactive calm. Right?
That makes a
And
lot of sense.
This is the frog image, okay? The frog calls the rain. The rain just doesn't fall on the frog, okay? We say the frog rain. So, and then the rest of us get stuck in the rain. But oh well, the frog doesn't care. And
I love rain.
Yeah, oddly enough, that's part of it, because sometimes the decisions you make affect others, and they resist, and you're like, okay, baby, I will do this.
Yep.
No, it's not a bad thing. Just saying. Sometimes they just have to get rained on. Okay. Better in the long run. So no longer manage, but discipline.
Okay.
Yeah. Clean it up. Does that help? Do you have any questions about that?
No.
Okay. Yeah. That was a good one. I like that. I
like
love
that,
being
yeah.
energy.
Yes. Yes.
Because I'm a reactive energy. When stuff starts going on, I'm coming out swinging wildly and screaming and crying, and then I calm down, and then I'm able to handle it.
Well, this is part of, as you're asking me if I have any questions, and I'm thinking not right now, but probably in about 3 hours from now.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. Yeah, that's another thing. All follow-up questions are for you. So. I always try to tell people that. Don't be afraid to ask. If something was unclear, if you think of something later, don't be afraid to ask. I'm here. Well, sometimes I'm here. Sometimes I'm in the bathtub or something, but we'll work it out.
Not now, because you've got no water.
Bingo.
Sorry, that was a bad joke.
That was a great joke. It's true. It's so true. Oh, my hair is so dirty.
It looks
So,
good.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
looks good.
I'm not sure anybody would sit by me, but yeah, thank you.
It's video, so we're good.
Well, I think actually everybody around here is in the same situation, so nobody cares.
Probably.
So, but yeah, we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about you, because you're the important one. I can talk about myself all the time. I've kind of got an ego, but let's talk about you. You're important. You're what's important here. This is about you. which we'll talk about that later. That's an issue we'll talk about later. But so like we're gonna move into the West. All right, these are like our goals, our dreams are built on. We dealt with our core dreams. Now we're dealing with our like, what do I want to do? You know, what am I going to do? Where are my goals? What drives my goals? What drives my reasoning? What drives my thinking? And you have a warrior spirit when it comes to that. Okay, and this may sound confusing to you because it's gonna kind of like not mesh with what you think is going on. Okay, you're driven. How do I say this? Okay, maybe I cleared this up. All right, I might have figured out a way to clear this up. All right, so what drives your goals and your that warrior, you know, we'd hate to be on the bad side of Sadie, is other people.
Yes.
Right? Yes, and in the desire to help and protect other people. All right, this is a wonderful way to build your goals, right? But a lot of times it excludes yourself, right? You are only one person. You actually need to sleep and eat, and you need to like rest, and you need to have you time, and you need to have a time to go back and deal with that earth magic that should be yours. Okay, that takes time to practice. Okay, but what drives your goals, right, is other people, family, friends, customers, clients.
Yes.
Clients. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
that makes complete sense. Yes.
Okay. All right, good. Yeah, these drive your goals, right? And these will, they don't push you off your life path, but they anchor you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a direction to build that earth energy into, right? But here's your problem, little warrior, right? You expend too much of it. Again, discipline. Knowing when you need to renew and restore, right?
I have no concept of that, to be honest with you.
None.
Yeah.
None at all. And honestly, in any area of your life.
Yes, very true. Very, very true.
Yeah. So, you know, yeah, you need to begin to develop it really soon. Okay. The energy you pull from, right? It's endless. You're not as a
Yes.
vessel. Okay. And it doesn't take much to set you going for a fight. Okay. Yeah, I can go ding, and you're like, okay, let's go take care of that. And I'll be
Power Rangers.
Going, and I will be sitting here going, no, I just wanted you to pass the salt so we can make a circle. So yeah, there's that great warrior spirit. I mean, you know, to a little warrior. Okay, when we say little warrior, that doesn't mean weak warrior.
I get that. Yes.
Yes. All right. It means, okay, we talk about big, strong warriors, but sometimes little changes, being able to implement little changes are so much more powerful. So much more powerful. The small changes a small change in your heart can create a heart attack.
Correct.
You know, if you can heal something, you can kill something. You need to be careful of that. Because sometimes that anger in you to defend, all right, can be misdirected. Has been on occasion.
And has been, yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yes.
But you also need to remember, all right, that needs to be renewed, restored, rested, disciplined. Again, the word discipline, that's going to come up all through this reading. Just get ready for it.
Does
Surprise
make
me.
sense. It does make sense, Beth, right?
Yeah. I talk to people a lot about discipline. You know, it comes up sometimes in readings, but for you, it's like all over the reading, you know, all over the reading. That fighting energy, right? Needs training, all right? It needs rest. Okay, it's the difference between it's the difference between somebody who owns a handgun and a soldier. You know, it needs training, it needs rest, it needs to be renewed. And you need to be careful where you direct it and who you allow to push it. Okay, because there have been people who have manipulated it. All right. And we're all guilty of that. We're all guilty of allowing somebody to turn us in the wrong direction. And that has happened to you in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to get too personal in this reading, but it has caused a break in a connection in the past. And certainly that person wasn't what you thought they were. But you have this desire to protect and defend. And sometimes people don't need to be protected and defended. They started their own mess. They deserve to be punched in the face. But in doing so, I think in the past, you've broken a connection that maybe you can renew further in some healing point, but I'm not, you know, this is kind of getting really personal. I don't know who this person is. I know there's a lot of anger involved, and they probably cried a lot. So
I have a pretty good feeling of who it is. Yeah.
All right, good. So we'll leave that. And then we'll move back into so shoulder, back problem, any?
I bent over one of my residents' chairs to take a break off 2 days ago, and I have a pain all the way through here, which radiates into my back.
Okay, so cartilage. Yeah.
And I'm not exactly sure what it is. I don't know, but it's painful if I move the wrong way.
It was an actual potential injury from another event that when you did that, it kind of like tipped the scales. I don't know why I picked up on that. So I just did. And so I think I'm not a doctor, but I would recommend, heat for the pain. Juniper oil works well. It's not inflammation, so aspirin's not going to help you. Yeah. But it's not going to go away really fast either. So I don't know why. Yeah.
Well, and I always have chronic lower back pain. Not to a great degree, like on a 1 to 10, probably about a 2 for the most part. Okay. But I'm also almost 60 and have done a job of on my feet since I was like 13, right? So.
Yeah, remind me, I'll send you a formula for a bath salt that will help that.
Okay.
Yeah, so we should down a side trail. That's not part of a life path reading.
Okay, fair enough. Yes.
Sometimes things just, there it is. But yeah, I'll send you a recipe for a bath salt. It's really easy. It has lavender, rosemary, juniper, mint. And if you can get it, St. John's wort. Yeah. Which really well. So it just couple of, a little bit of Epsom salt, sea salt, and baking soda will help. Yeah, okay, Marilee, come back. Here we go. So do we
Discipline.
yes, discipline. Do we have any questions in that area?
No, that a lot of that makes a lot of sense.
Okay,
It's
all right.
because as you were telling me that I would, I am strong and a warrior and managing, and I'm like, then why do I always feel so chaotic? But
Yeah.
you brought that into play as well, so
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I really love your energy too, by the way. I know why my animals just relax with you. This makes perfect sense. So we move into the north. This is a touchy subject with you, and I'm not sure why, but we're moving into the mind and in intelligence and in thought thinking. And I say touchy, I don't think it hurts your feelings, but I think that there's this area that we're fixing to broach. Maybe you don't want people to know about. I think that you like to allow people. This is part of that warrior mindset. Strategy.
Okay.
You kind of hide your intelligence and your thoughts, right?
Mhm.
You keep them in the shadow. You don't tell anyone ever what you fully think.
Very
Sometimes you allow them, sometimes you allow them to think that you are dumber than you are because it's to your advantage. Tricky. I'm going to have to remember that.
People don't expect as much from you.
That's right. This is exactly right. So it's like under this layer, a shield almost. Super intelligent, very ability to learn and grasp, and just open door to being able to pull information in and to take the tiniest bit of information and expand on it and utilize it while making the other person think it's them and you're not that bright. And that's mean.
Okay.
That's unfair to your opponents. Then they don't know where that came from. Sometimes it just comes out of the blue. When you have to, you use that very well. And weirdly, because a lot of times when people are like that, it's for manipulation. It's a negative thing. But you use it to make people better, which is so strange. Because you've taken something that should be really negative, and you've utilized it to make people better. And yeah.
I like it explained that way. You're not manipulative. You're yeah.
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's a learned thing. I will never play chess. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. Because I won't win. So, but what, you have the ability to make me think that I would win.
Okay.
So I like that. This is again part of that warrior mindset strategy built up. Again, more discipline into it. Not as much as the other areas. Okay, because a lot of it you're doing on a subconscious level. A lot of it you're doing it without realizing it. Okay, you're actually inspiring people to be better in a very subterfuge way. So it's
I've
almost like,
subterfuged myself, I think.
honestly, yeah, because you have it, you have this, you know, and honestly, I'm going to think that it's part of your gifts, right? Because if it was a developmental, like I said, it would be a manipulation. It would be somebody gaining from it. You're not gaining wealth. No offense. So, yeah, yeah. So this is. I think this is part of your gift, the ability to make people believe that they can do it.
I like that.
But yeah, that you undermine yourself and you make yourself a lower presence. So you're all like, oh, I'm just helping you a little bit. Look how much you've done. You did it. But really, it was you holding them up. But they're gaining the ability while you hold them up. That's the best I can explain that. Do you have any questions about that? Because that just, probably that I would not, I wish this wasn't on video, because this gives people that you've done this to are going,
Insight into it. I certainly have. I like to think that I inspire people and help them up, and now I have this little light glowing inside of me that's like, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so we're getting into the fifth card, right? This part I've been worried about all day, because I've touched on this when I thought, oh, I got to do a reading on Sabi. That immediately came through to me. I was like, okay, let's do this. We got it.
Got me panicking
That
a
was
little
for
here,
me.
Elizabeth.
Well, it's really hard to tell, to explain things sometimes. So fifth element, like we are well known for four elements. Okay, earth, wind, air, fire. Everybody knows that. But the fifth element is that thing that binds things together: the earth, the soul, the creative force of the universe. The position we're in now. Okay. We have a problem. I'm going to say we, because it just makes it sound better, but it's really you.
Thanks.
So, there's a self-esteem issue.
Mhm.
Okay. It is complex. It comes from a point of self-criticism. Right? It comes from a great deal of loss. Right? And this loss is, I'm not going to get into, but there's been a great deal of loss, and it has eroded away the way you see yourself right now.
Mhm.
Okay. From my own point of view, I think that's too personal, and I'm going to just push it aside. It also comes from childhood.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a damaged soul. All right. This has reached through the physical, the mental, and is now bleeding into the actual soul.
I would agree with that. Yes, very much so.
So myself back here. I apologize. You are great at healing other people. Right? You're amazing at it. And you have potential to be even greater if you take the advice through this life path reading. You're the worst patient.
I would definitely agree with that. Yes, I do not heal myself.
Right. But that has to begin. And it really needs to be done with the soul. And that's going to be a hard journey, but it needs to be when you start soon. Right? It needs your self-esteem, right? It's starting to affect everything, right? And this can cause great depression. Okay. I say depression, that's kind of the clinical word for it. This goes a little deeper than depression. You go get antidepressants, it'll make you feel better physically and mentally, but it's not going to deal with this.
It's not going to cure the problem.
Right. This is so much deeper. Okay. Recommendations for that, because it's so personal. Where would I go with this? Well, I know where I'd go with this, come up swinging and kill everybody, but let's not do that.
I think that's an option. Yeah.
Yeah, and it may be, you know.
It sounds like fun.
It is. Taking a good self-defense course actually could help you. Getting into martial arts like Tai Chi, yoga. Something that focuses on energy as well. That's just a tiny step. Okay. But you're also going to have to deal with forgiveness. Right? Forgiveness of self. You are the hardest person to forgive for you. We all love you. You know, you could commit murder and we'd be like, oh, yes, baby, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's cool. But for you to forgive yourself, you need to start doing that. Right? Because there's the beginning of buildup of illusion around this. And illusions and glamours are hard to break, especially when we build them ourselves.
Yes.
So reality has to be reset. And the reality is you're human. You're a very powerful human. You know, an amazingly powerful human. You're still human. And that's okay. Right? That's great. That's amazing. But with human comes tragedy. With human comes self-criticism. The belief we made mistakes we didn't make. All right? We didn't make mistakes. We made the best choices we could in the moments we made them. You know? So this journey needs to be started soon. Because you're already getting a lot of fatigue.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of, when our soul gets so battered like that, it begins to manifest. All right? We lose joy. And I'm getting a strong cough here, and I don't know why. We lose joy in the flavors of our food, right? In the simple things that we used to take pleasure in.
Pure
right?
joy.
It can even begin, right?
Like pure joy, right?
We begin to lose that. So this needs to be dealt with, because this will go into more than depression. Okay. So, and that's the life path part of the reading. Do you have any questions about that?
No, but if you need to cough, go ahead and cough, Elizabeth.
Actually, no, it's just a strong thing that came up. I felt like I was fixing to say something. I was fixing to say something that probably shouldn't have been said.
Oh, okay.
So openly. So my own body said,
No.
yeah. Yeah. So so that's the life path part of the reading. That was the hardest part, by the way, was that last part. Now I'm going to talk to you now about the two animals that are going to help you. See, I'm still thinking in that direction because I'm nosy.
You go right ahead. We can always talk later privately.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay.
So the two animals, the one on your right, right, you need to be careful how you're tapping into that. right? Because we're talking about the record keeper, the well, you know. The only stronger or in line with this may be the elephant or the alligator. But, you know, the long records you keep on file, right? This can be done in a positive way or it can be done in a negative way, and you're leaning towards the negative. And this influence of the well, which really is trying to push you to the positive. This information is not for that. Please go this way. Then the song of the well is saying, you know, remember, you've recorded the good too. Remember, you have records of good, right? And you have records of knowledge and you have records of wisdom. Stop staying in this little section and pulling out those records. And so the well is going to be with you for a while until you learn to break out of that area.
This makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Very much so, yeah.
And so that's on your right. Okay, and then on your left, you're going to have the porcupine. Yay! I like the porcupine. Okay. Unrestrained joy has been lost. Right? Unrestrained joy has been lost. The fear of pain. The fear I'm going to be hurt. But the porcupine says, I got all these quills and you ain't touching me. So I can do whatever I want because I'm kind of happy. Okay, and so the porcupine energy, which is a corrective energy, is trying to get in. Right? And it is strongly trying to pull you in the right direction. Come be with me, let's have fun. Yeah, we might fall off the branch, but who cares? Because they do sometimes. Like they fall asleep in trees and they fall out.
Yeah.
Weird little animals. Anyway, but so the porcupine is going to be with you for a while until you get your unrestrained joy. You get what you think are happy for you. Let's be honest. Your level of happy is here. You know, let's compare you to me. All right. So let's compare you to me, and your level of happy is here. Something funny might be happening, and you're like, ha ha ha! I'm laughing. That's funny. But you don't let go. You stay at a level 4 instead of being a level 10. Like when you told me your dream, I went to a level 10. You know, I went from being completely miserable because I have no water and my skin itches to like laughing till I almost fell off the chair. It's like, yes, I love that. I need that, you know. And so, you know, I that's my problem. I go one extreme or the other. That's me. But you restrain. You never allow yourself to experience fully.
Yes.
And so porcupine, happy little guy that he is, whom nothing can touch because, you know, they're idiots if they do, you know, enjoys life. You know, he's always at 10. And she is going to pull you with her. She wants to pull you with her. She's a corrective energy coming in. And so it's up to you as to whether or not you accept that, or whether or not you allow.
Actually have been feeling that pull over the last year. And I think that's kind of maybe where a lot of my chaotic feelings are coming from, right?
Yeah.
Trying to balance. Yeah.
It's like, I want to be 10, but I'm, you know, what happens if the other shoe drops?
Yeah.
You know, what happens if the other shoe drops? Maybe you go barefoot. It's okay.
Like barefoot.
Yeah. You know, and so go to 10, allow yourself to begin, allow that energy to come back into your life. You know, porcupine's a happy little animal to knock about with, really is.
Just don't pat it the wrong way.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, and you'll see these influences, the beautiful influence. I think right now needed influence in your life. So, yeah. So that is a life path reading. What do you think? Do you have any questions?
As I said, at this moment, I personally do not, but 3 hours from now, I'm going to come up with a whole bunch. right?
Awesome. Okay. Okay. That'll be great.
Yeah, yeah, that was
Yeah.
very insightful, and so many of the points that you brought out are just right on target, right on.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad.
And a lot of them I didn't actually even realize I knew until you pointed them out.
Right.
And then it was
A
like, oh
lot of it
yeah,
is
that's,
affirming.
yeah,
Yeah. A lot of times it is affirming. And we
Yeah.
need, sometimes people need, I say we, but I reject affirmation because I'm such a hardhead. But sometimes people need to be, you know, we don't know what we know until we know.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah. And it can be really enlightening. It'd be really fun. Spa day. Right? I don't know. You told me that at the beginning of the video, somebody had a spa day.
My dog.
Yeah. Well, spa day is happy.
My
And
dog.
that came out of left field. Yeah, that came out of left field too. Spa day is happy. He's satisfied. Not so much with how spa day went about, but it feels better.
Strangely enough, I am like a huge hugger and toucher, but I don't like people to touch me.
Yeah.
Like I could never go and get my feet done because the idea of somebody touching my feet drives me crazy. Even getting my hair cut, it's like
Yeah,
I don't like strangers doing it. It's weird.
Yeah,
but I'll hug that stranger if I meet them in the street. So,
but you know why? I mean, you know
Yes.
why that?
I do now.
Because you know how to utilize that towards somebody.
Manipulate's a good word to use as well. It's
Right.
okay.
Right. And so you realize that if you give them that access, you're open to that as well.
Yes.
Or what the skills that we understand and know are the ones that we defend ourselves against the most. Like I am great at defending myself against. Well, we won't talk about that because that's that's my secrets.
That's another TED Talk.
Yes, that's another TED Talk. But then also at times we get more information, and because we get more information, we know they can get information from us.
Fair enough.
And so we develop this don't touch.
Yeah.
I'm like you. I was like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
A lot of our information comes from touch, and you don't want to know what I'm thinking about you right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I'm like that
that's
too. I don't like to be touched.
Yeah.
I mean, very few people do. Unless I know they're going to touch me, don't touch me.
Right. It's like we work in offensive energy, not offensive, offensive. Right? We work in offensive energy. A lot of the work we are doing is
Which is funny because I'm okay if I'm doing the touching. Right?
Right.
If I go to hug you or something, I'm fine with that. That makes me feel good. I'm okay with that. But in reality, unless it's somebody I really know, I think I'd probably crap my pants if Elijah hugged me.
I don't hug anybody.
But for the most part,
yeah.
I guess I like to be in control of that, maybe, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense. Because I mean, to be honest with you, you have, like I said, you have that ability. That's a natural ability. But understanding that, that there's somebody out there that may, right? Yes. I can hug you. I can help you. I can understand you. But I have secrets.
Yes.
Talk to the hand. Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe with you bringing up those insecurities, it may be, I'm afraid that if they get to know me that well, they're going to see those and therefore not think I'm a good person.
Right. Or
it could be you're an empath.
Right. Or they can use them against you. Yeah. Yeah. There's a reason we develop the shake hands when we meet. It's because we're checking for a weapon. Shake hands, tip your hat. You know, it's a wonder we didn't develop the full pat down as a form of greeting.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Hey,
You
this
know,
is
it may be
George. Hi,
coming.
George. How are you?
It might, yeah, except for we're not allowed to touch people right now.
Unless
Right,
you've got a
right.
suit, a uniform on.
Just kind of flashers.
Yeah, it's so funny because I had my mask on the other day. You know, and we are already beginning to be able to read people's micro expressions and body movements without the mouth.
hmm
You know, but it still does cause some confusion.
Try
Is that
working with
person really
dementia
speaking?
people wearing a
Right.
mask, right? And then for a while there, we were
Yeah.
having to wear goggles as well.
Yeah.
Like, so you had to bring your whole
Oh,
body into
yeah.
motion for them because you look like something from outer space. Like it must have been terrifying for them.
It must have, yeah, and that's where the body energy comes in. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm coming in with that calm, cool. We talk
Yes.
about that in training, and that we want that calm, cool, calm. You know,
Yes.
assertive. You're okay. You're safe. I'm not here to hurt you. We want to bring them up to that level with us, just like dog training,
Yep.
right? But it's people training. Like I talked about that on one of the videos, but what I didn't give away was my dirty little secret about it. You know, I can get into the state of calm, assertive control, but I'm really nervous, chaotic, spastic energy. You know, I've developed calm because I deal with dogs, but that's not my natural reaction. My natural reaction is, I'm going to kill everybody first, and then we will figure out what's going on. You know, and
Much
I'm gonna
easier
break this
without people
apart.
around.
It is, you know, and so, but it's a really good study right now in human behavior, how we are presenting that energy. You know, we know instantly when the energy's changed.
Yes.
We know instantly. Yeah, you know, I can give a really good example. I was in a restaurant. Everybody has their masks on. Everybody's like, blah, 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 blah. Sit down to eat. We take our masks off, but we're only with that person, contaminating their life. Everybody's having a merry good time. And this person walked in, and I mean, the room just went dead. And the energy tensed up, and everybody was predator prey reaction. You knew instantly who the real predators were and who was the prey. Okay, in that situation, my fight or flight kicks in. Everyone's does, right? And my first reaction, I'm not a warrior. I want to run. I'm the prey. So that's always my first reaction. Get the hell out of Dodge. But it affected the whole room, this one person.
Yes.
And he had a mask on. There was no gritting of teeth. There were no micro expressions. It was the energy he brought into the room.
Emanating.
Right. And you have the ability to utilize that with your patients. You know, I am calm. I am in control. I am an assertive. That's that manipulation we talked about. I got you, baby.
Yeah, very definitely.
But yeah, no, you see that so much, and it's magnifying because of masks, right? We are starting to become more and more able to sense ambient energy instead of relying on sight and facial, micro expressions.
Would that
It's
also
very interesting.
Would that also have to do with the fact that the energy is shifting and we are becoming more people are becoming aware or in tune with themselves, where people are waking up to a different reality?
I think
would like
so.
to think so.
Yeah, I would like to think so. But I love you, Elijah. I do. And I dream of having the faith in the human species that you do. Yeah, I really hope so. I really hope so. but you know, it's hard to believe as a species. We got a long way to go, people, before we can build to that 100 sheep. Yeah.
Actually, I think what's happening is this is supposed to Chiron, who's a channeler, one of the better, one of the few channels I'll actually listen to. He said this is a year of division.
A what?
A year of division. You choose or you
Yeah.
choose not to. And a lot
Right.
of people, hopefully more people are choosing to than not to. But the people we run into who choose not to, they're the
Yeah.
ones that are not going to be that they're not. I don't know what's going to happen to them. Dolores,
I have to excuse myself for a moment because I
Okay.
can't sit still any longer, so I'll be right back.
okay, when you do, I want to tell Elizabeth some stuff I know about you.
Okay, I'll be just really, really quick, but I
No
can't
rush.
sit here any longer. Thank you.
Okay.
I can talk about Dolores Cannon.
Yeah.
So Dolores Cannon says the Earth is going to split in 2 or 3. I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
And the people who don't believe will go on one Earth, and the people who do believe will go on another Earth. And I never believed that until this year when I started to see the dichotomy
Uh-huh.
of people who just are refusing and the people who are choosing to wake up. I mean, some of the people who are choosing to wake up, I'm going, oh, really? I would never expect that of you.
Yeah.
The people who are choosing not to wake up, and I go, oh my God, I'm shocked because you're so close.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun.
so
You know, we've been saying in our videos, we can choose to create heaven or hell.
Yeah.
You know, that's a choice. We
And-
took that when we ate the apple.
and right now, a lot of people are creating.
Right.
I have to say they are creating a hell on earth right at the moment. A lot of people.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. And some of them even believe that they are doing the right thing.
A lot of them believe they're doing the right thing. And when you try to talk to them, explain,
Mm-hmm.
there's a wall there so deep you can't.
Oh, don't even bother trying.
Yeah.
In the Bible, we say don't cast pearls before swines.
And that's exactly what you people who have all the information in front of them. They just it shocks the hay out of me that. Sorry, I'm working on my.
That's fine.
Yeah, I get
Look at
started.
There we go.
So you were talking about with Sabi, you were talking about her intellect and
Yeah.
how she hides it. And
Yeah.
I've known Sabi for quite a few years, at least 5, 7, 6.
Probably, yeah.
She's done this to you too, huh?
I think Elijah's smarter than the average bear.
Actually, I'm not. What I am is I'm authentic.
Yes.
And because I'm authentic, I kind of forget to play the games. They'll give me an opportunity. I am a majorly good game player.
You are.
Just kind of lazy. But I've watched Sabi play the I'm not so smart. I've watched her manipulate. She just tried to do it with me. And I go, when she left, I turned to Al and say,
Whoa.
do you really think that's gonna wash? Because she
See, I would be such a I would be such a sucker for that. That's why I said we will never play chess. Yeah.
But
I would-
one of my major things is I hate being manipulated so badly that I could see it.
Yeah. Oh, so my problem is I love my intellect, so I will go with that. She would have me dancing like a little, and for my betterment, because you have to remember this is she doesn't.
I watch her do
Yeah.
this with other people,
Yeah.
and I watch how they react, and I just go, it's cool.
Yeah. it's really kind of, it was such a weird thing to run into. I have to say, and I've done like hundreds and hundreds of these life path readings. I have never run into that before. Usually if I run into a manipulative energy, I try to say politely, I don't like you. This reading's over. Have a good day. You know,
But I've
this
never
is
ever
something,
seen Sadie do it for her own benefit, honestly.
right.
I was
this
gonna
is-
say, in my
yeah.
defense, I think for the most part, I mean, there has definitely been times where I've manipulated people knowing
Right.
full well that's what I'm doing.
Oh, I'm 100% sure you know all the time because I see it in your face.
No,
I
I
see
don't-
the calculations and I go,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I
honestly-
think sometimes I really don't. I know that
Yeah.
I have in the past on purpose for the wrong reasons. I do know that.
But I haven't seen that in this since
Yeah.
I've known you.
Yeah.
And I
That's
don't
really
see you
good.
all the time.
That's really
Like-
good self-actualization, by the way, realizing that. We talked about that on that other video where we talked about the shadow. Acknowledging that and realizing the ability is amazing. That's great. That's really healthy. By the way, I admire you for that. I honestly feel, and I know this sounds strange, but I honestly feel this is an extension
Thank
of
you.
your gifts.
I think it is. I think it's a part of
Part
the
of your
your gift.
Yeah. I
think-
mean,
because well, you look at Vero, she's got it.
yeah.
Vero,
But Vero, I could talk about Veronica all day, you know. Actually, I need to have a conversation with her. But God, that girl has so much fire energy. You know, there needs to be a balance there somewhere
yeah,
for her.
well, don't worry, that'll come.
Yeah,
It
it's
comes
like,
with experience. So because
I just-
Sadie, I think,
yeah.
has what? She's water energy.
yeah, well, yeah, mixed with earth healing energy.
Yeah, but when she was younger, it was mostly water energy, right?
Yeah, mostly water energy, but that was so, well, we talked about that in a reading. But yeah, this, you know, she's that earth water healing mixture.
And I'm going to put in here, Sadie, you don't trust yourself enough with the healing.
Oh, I know that.
X.
You know,
I know that.
So,
I do, and then I pull back.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, yeah, I got this. I'm on this. And then I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like,
right. You
right?
go back down to the four instead of
Self-doubt
being
kicks in and yeah.
Yeah.
okay, so I'm going to be a real biatch. Don't.
Yeah, no. I have to say that you helped me with Jazz through those moments so well, dealing with her long term. If y'all don't if y'all have the opportunity to get an animal reading from Sadie, you really should. Because I talk well to animals, I really do. I've done it my whole life. But with Jazz's long-term care, you know, there's a lot of times Sadie would do those live videos and be like, hey, what about Jazz? The information, even to me, was invaluable and really helped me through that in a lot of ways. Realizing where she needed comfort, where she didn't, where I was overreacting, where I wasn't reacting enough. It was invaluable to me. In case y'all don't understand animals, they're like us. When the boss comes in, we present our best self. And, you know, when the boss walks out, we all go back to doing what we're really doing. So if you have an animal that you're dealing with the long term, and it's your animal, even if you feel like you know and you understand, you may want to use that service because they'll be much more honest with somebody from outside. That's not the boss. Right? That's not the pack leader.
Plus, Sadie has a way of talking to the dogs.
Yeah.
That they don't real. For instance, we have a rescue who's chronic pain.
Yeah.
And she'll come in and talk to him, and he's hunky dory. until he realizes that
What I'm doing.
looking for information, and then he goes like that with his big paw.
Yep. You didn't come to see me.
Yeah. Well, at least he talks to you. I'm just gonna point that out.
Broken
Oh,
ball.
boy just turns his back and ignores me. I'm the broken ball. He ain't gonna talk to me. I'm gonna be right back. I'll be right back. I
So
gotta
one
go
thing, Sabi, I
turn off the alarm.
that there's something that would really help not just you, but a lot of people. And, I think it's for you to understand that how much compassion you have. And so a lot of your manipulation, when you manipulate people into thinking that they did this themselves, it's because you're coming from compassion. And I think we could actually probably add a compassion reading onto your
Yeah.
It's funny
Real
because taking all these, as I feel, compliments and good things said about me is, to be honest with you, very difficult for me.
Mhm.
we don't mind.
I knew it.
Bringing out the best me.
And
Thank
Spirit
you.
Feather says, how much is a life reading? This is amazing. And honest to God, I don't know. I will see if I can find it out.
What are we asking?
What the cost of a spirit of a
Life path reading?
life path reading is? And
That's a
like,
good question.
I don't know. I don't know I know the basic costs of I know the basic costs of the basic readings are basically $35. And
Yeah.
then go up from there.
I'm thinking it was 130 American, but I'm not
Holy cow.
positive on that.
Hang on, I think you're right. Option.
You're worth it, Elizabeth. You're worth
Yeah,
it.
that's terrifying. See, this is the part I don't like. That's why Elijah's in my life.
I
let her
just got
take
an
that.
hour and a half reading out of you. An hour and a half that was donated to me.
We do not.
Yes.
We do not have a life path reading. We have a different perspective. Compatibility,
Okay, yeah.
general.
Life path reading is
Oh yeah,
definitely.
here it is. I found it.
I'm sure I found that.
Yeah, no, it's. I don't think it's the same reading because. That's weird. So I think whatever it is you chose something else, and I don't know what reading it is.
It was the one for $130.
Well,
There's an animal communications for like 200, I think, because I know Elizabeth would prefer that Sabi do the readings. Oops, wrong one.
I have a love relationship with animals that they don't often return. So, and I have been in animal readings with the animal, well, like Tolly.
He's a tool.
Yeah, right. Somebody pays you for a reading and the dog turns its back on you and says, nope, not talking to you.
I had that happen only once, and it was with a fish.
Fish can be like
That fish like messed with my head. It was a fish that hated water and did not want to converse with me at all. Once I explained it really didn't have an option as to the water. It was a strange conversation.
I think we could like relate that to somebody who hates life but has to live.
Well, he kept jumping out of his fish bowl, right?
Uh-huh.
And yeah, he hated water. And once he found out I couldn't do anything about that, he wanted nothing to do with me.
They will shut you down. They will shut you down. I have been shut down by animals, and there's nothing you can do about it after it happens.
Luckily, it was a free reading, so
Yeah,
it wasn't quite so bad. I think your sound is turned off, Elijah.
Yeah, that's because I was talking to my daughter. Veronica wants to know if it was a fish called Wanda.
No. No.
So
Proud mom.
we have
do-
somebody from, we have Prem from Australia says, love to you all. Yeah. And lots of hearts.
Oh,
What else can we do to make Sadie feel a little more embarrassed?
so that's what happens when you volunteer for tribute.
Hey, I didn't just volunteer. I actually paid for this.
Yeah, she did.
That's right. Which I was surprised. I was really thankful.
She actually paid more
because-
than she actually paid more
Yeah,
than
we may owe you some money. Yeah, we may owe you some money back. Because at that time, I mean, as y'all know, I was dealing with some other issues, and
You
that was
had
a
a lot of
blessing.
expenses going on at the time. Yes.
Yeah, yes, that was a real blessing. It was like, phew.
Both financially and emotionally.
Yes.
Yeah, that was yeah.
The financial I
still
could
good.
definitely help with.
So I want
I
to do
appreciate it
something
so much.
actually that, but this will actually work with Elizabeth, whether you want to or not. Tomorrow, Sabi's doing another live for us, and it dovetails.
Good.
Great.
I know. I'm just the wisdom seeker's star.
Yeah,
Yes, you are.
but it
are.
dovetails crazy good with what you
Yeah.
said, and it was about
It
the
does.
feeling,
Yes, very much
The
so.
what?
the
Oh,
soul.
good.
So Spirit Feather, you know how she does these drawings and they sort of speak to you?
Yeah.
She did a soul drawing for Sabi, and it basically spoke to her soul damage.
Very much so.
And
Shoot.
I'm not
Seems very
exactly sure
fun to do.
how we can we should have done it all together, right? But it would have been exhausting.
It would have been like sometimes readings, or you walk away from them and you're like, you know, I've had them when on the rare occasion I will let somebody read me, you know, because I have this I don't want to know attitude. I don't want to know. Sounds horrible. But on the rare occasions I will let somebody read me. Sometimes I walk away a little drained because of the revelations, and you have to process. You get too much of that at one time, it can be you know,
I actually feel
Yeah.
that a lot, and maybe it's because I have to open myself up for a
Yeah.
read. So I do find I'm both physically and mentally exhausted after having one done on me, because I
Right.
have to allow myself to become what I consider vulnerable.
Right.
Even though I
exactly.
trust you guys completely and utterly, it is having to open that door to allow it to happen, right?
That's
And
why
a really
have a really
deeply-
good hot drink and a bar of chocolate or a cookie or something when you get.
I have my water, which is empty, which is why I had to run away earlier. And my coffee, I had to get rid of those.
And then
Yeah.
plus you have processing the energies.
Yes.
And as y'all saw, these life path readings can become deeply personal.
Well, we're going to do very few of them live.
Yeah.
We take very
Yeah, very few of them. I was so honored and, you know, elated that Sabi agreed to do this. I even mentioned that to Elijah. Are you sure? Is she sure?
I think people need to have an understanding of what a lot of our talents are. I can say to you,
Yeah.
hey, guess what? I can do a life reading for you.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Where are we going with
Right.
that? Are you going to tell me what's happening, like where my life is going? Are you going to tell me where it's, well, yeah, we're going to cover a lot of that and more. So this gives people an understanding of the bang for the buck, I
That's right.
think, right?
Yes. And I am so
My
grateful.
problem with
So
Elizabeth
grateful.
is getting her to charge what she's worth.
I think Elizabeth should just sit back, shut up, and accept it.
Every time I
Yeah.
oh no, that's too much.
It's like I tell her, just don't tell me. You know,
Well,
It
then I
must be
won't tell you
lovely
from
to
now
be
on.
independently wealthy and not have any water or electricity or, bird food or, it's
yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
Sogo says, thank you, Sabi, for being so open and receptive to this experience. It's an honor to be a witness to your bravery and conviction. Thank you, wisdom seekers, and Elizabeth, you're highly gifted. Yes,
Is she not?
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
she is. I wouldn't have her otherwise.
Everybody
This is-
in Wisdom Seekers is, yes.
That's not a lie. I mean, it's Elizabeth's fault that that's the way it works. And you can tell the story after I read this one. Spirit Feather, I get nervous too because things get very personal, but they have to, it seems, to foster true healings. Prems from Australia says is February a shaky month? I'm feeling very lost this month. She's
Oh, yeah.
Cancer and well, water sign.
Yeah.
It is
Yes,
a crappy.
that's just a yes.
March is going to be,
February is beyond. I mean,
yeah. We all
you
keep
know,
hoping that the next month's going to be better.
yeah.
I think March is going to be better. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be beyond difficult.
It better be better because I got to plant my cabbage eventually. So
Good.
I got lettuce and cabbage to plant.
Yeah,
So-
so your rabbits, so the invader rabbit can come and eat it, right?
That is exactly right. I know when I say that, people think it's for my personal use, but it's not. It's for the rabbits. So yeah, exactly. You know, that's the whole point. I have and I was actually, by the way, I did not purchase those seeds that I'm going to be planting. They were generously given to me by someone.
Who doesn't
that
like
I'm able-
rabbits, cat, and
Yeah, so that I'm able to just sort of start planting some natural food sources for the animals around here. And I truly
Awesome
appreciate
idea.
and value that person. Yeah.
okay, I'm
So
going to butt in because it's all well and good, but it's not going to get you readings.
okay.
Give you these magic beans if you'll give me a reading.
You know, don't
Probably
push
say
me.
yes.
I think I told Elijah one time. I think I told her I was like, look, I have to stop accepting eggs. I had too many
So maybe if you turn that mindset, here we go with the manipulation. Maybe if
Yeah.
you turn that mindset into the fact that you are providing for those
Yeah.
who count on you, it might make it a little easier for you, right?
It does.
No,
It helps soothe
he's
me.
tried that.
Yeah, I really feel like, when we deal with our gifts, right?
Yes,
It's a service it's a service.
it is,
Um,
but you also have to eat.
yeah. But yes, I do
Yeah,
also
you-
have to
You
eat.
have worked,
And
you have a
when
university education, a doctorate.
Yeah.
In spirituality or learn of readings.
Yeah.
It's not something you're a newbie at. It's something you spent years learning to do, and you're good at it. You
And you do
you're
give out
paying for the
lots of
knowledge.
free advice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we give out lots of free advice. And when those readings are purchased, I take them as an honor and a trust, a sacred trust.
Okay. But
They become a sacred trust to me.
I still
Um,
butt in and get to let people know
Yeah.
exactly how good you are, how varied you are. So Elizabeth and I go back a few years now. I think about 4 years. I'm not exactly.
Yeah, I actually got in touch with Elijah because I was writing a character that was an empath.
And she said, I'm not an empath, and we argued
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, we had that long argument.
But
But yeah,
the important thing, that's nice history you're evading. Please don't. Because she's afraid that I'll show her up to be really good at what she is.
I think this did
This was
just
really-
that.
Yeah.
I really do. If especially, I know most of you don't know me personally, but I think Elijah can attest to the fact that that was a bona fide, true reading of me.
Yeah, that was right to the spot. And
And Beth and I have never met
those things.
personally. We've had some interactions, but we've never sat down and had a heart and soul talk or anything like that. Most of what we've talked, you've seen on here.
This is true for
I
a lot
want
of the
to tell a
people.
story, Elizabeth.
Okay.
And this is to show how good you are. When we met about 4 years ago, and I had a website being built, and it kept being built and built and built for months, and it never finished. So I said to Elizabeth, you know what? I want certain things out of this website. I want integrity. I want honesty. I want to attract money. I want, what else was it? Integrity?
Truth.
Truth. And so we didn't make a sigil. Elizabeth made a sigil, and we put it up. A week after that sigil went up, the website ceased to exist. It just
Yeah.
was over. But it's because it was not built with integrity or truth. And
Honesty.
and that sigil is still up on our present day website. We have had readers come in, and some have lasted 2 or 3 months even. Mostly they'll last a couple weeks max, and they're gone because
Yeah.
the energy of the Elizabeth sigil is so powerful. Nobody but the best readers can come in and stay. So what does that mean? That means that Elizabeth is an extremely well-trained and efficient shaman. And she was trained in the Louisiana bayous by her grandfather. And she's done a lot of her own soul research too, no doubt about it. Whatever Elizabeth does, it's because whatever she offers, it's because she knows what she's talking about. She, as you say, as you could see, she tried really, really hard to squirm out of me saying these things, but she's really good at what she does. And Sabi's known her for a few years now too, though I have never ever met Elizabeth in the physical. Sabi, I know because we live in the same town. But hi there, baby. My daughter's opening the deep freeze, so my dog's having a heart attack.
But she's not
Yeah,
petting
that
her
old-
daughter.
I don't call my daughter's baby.
You're like, hi there, baby. And then you're like, my daughter is.
You know, she's opening the fridge. My dog's afraid of the fridge. freezer.
Unfortunately, I have to go pick up my baby from the
Okay,
groomers.
I'll let you
He's
go.
been waiting for an hour. Thank you so very, very much, Elizabeth. It was
Thank you
wonderful.
too.
I'll see you guys all tomorrow.
Yes.
It's a date.
It's 12 time.
Yes, 12 our time.
Okay, hang on. You can
Okay.
go
All right.
there. Jennifer Sweet,
Love you, Sadie.
wonderful person.
Love you too.
Love you.
How do I get it?
Aunt Beth, Vero says, Aunt Beth is amazing. One reading from her is so accurate and in-depth. It's only one reading. How about the others? I'm sorry, that was mean of me.
That's awesome.
But
Veronica is a pretty good reader herself.
she really is.
She has studied with me before, and she uses a different energy style, but she's pretty accurate. It's one of the things I do is
you can tell you taught her. I can tell you taught
Yeah.
her.
I do mentorships. Some people last, but most don't. I'm just going to throw that out there. I've only had
Chips do cost.
right. I've only
Because
had
Elizabeth is extremely in depth.
yeah.
And she takes a lot of time to working with you.
Yeah.
Vero lasted and loves, adores Elizabeth. She says, and she changed it to many readings off. And she
So
says,
that mentorship,
from
it only lasts as long as the person wants it to. Yeah, and I usually have people quit pretty quickly. Some for the reason that they just don't want to do that kind of work. And then others, it's because they only needed something from the mentorship. You know, they needed to tweak something in their life, or it helped them in some way, and they're satisfied. You know, I had one girl come on. She was, I mentored her for about 2 months, and you know, the next thing I know, her life's done a 180, and she's gone. Thank you. And I was like, you're welcome.
yeah,
You know, and still credits me for that, but it was all her work. You know, all I did was sort of help her get back on the right path. You know, so I mean that can last as long as you want, or as short as you want, or if it's not for you, get out. And I've had a lot get out.
thing I can promise you though, when you get out, when you're finished, if you follow her work,
Yeah.
you are really good.
Yeah, and this is not a do what I say kind of thing,
Yes, it
right?
is.
In some ways, I'll admit that, because I'm like, if you're not going to do the work, I'm not going to deal with you. All right,
You
it's a
have
waste of my
to
time.
trust. If you don't have trust and you don't listen,
But in a lot of ways, it's working within your energy, in your gifts, in your life. It's kind of a give and take.
from their point of view, rather
Right. So like if you ever consider that, you have to understand there's some requirements for it. I require that if you are in some kind of therapy, you stay in therapy. If you are under a doctor's care, you stay under a doctor's care. That's a requirement, right? That don't say, okay, I'm gonna get out. Some people do this, and I've seen them do it. Oh, I'm gonna get out spiritual and my life's gonna be better. Goodbye, everything that was helping me. That's not gonna work with me.
well,
Right?
spirituality does not make your life easier.
Right. And
Ever.
so you are required, you know, whatever regiment you're on, you stay on it. I am not there for faith. So if you come to me from a Christian point of view, from a Jewish point of view, from a pagan point of view, from a Wiccan point of view, that's where we're going to be doing our work. Okay. I'm not here to recruit you into the way I do things. I'm here to help you learn how you do things. So it's a mentorship. It's not a school, but you do have homework, and I do expect it done.
And she treats you like you're 5 years old if you don't do it.
I do. And speaking of Veronica, we need to get together. So, just saying. And that's been hard lately because of the ice storms and everything going on. But yeah, no. So that is one of the things that I offer. But it takes a while to get me to accept you, because I don't like wasting my time. This takes a lot of my time. I spend a lot of time with you, and I don't want to waste it.
I don't do this anymore,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I have, and I remember one time I had these people, I asked them, please don't take this other kind of energy course while you're working
Right.
with me.
Yeah.
And they said, sure. And then they took that other energy course. Of course I know. And I quit.
Yeah.
I would not work with them again.
Yeah. There's a reason. Like if I ask you not to do something, there's a reason.
And there was a reason. I may
Yeah.
not have told you what the reason is. You have to trust me. You don't
You know,
trust me, I can't work with you.
and then the whole thing is, if you didn't want to learn, right? This is a desire of the student, right? The desire of the student is to learn, right? The desire of the teacher is to learn as well, by the way, and I will cover that one day. So
Yeah, the best way to
yeah.
learn something is to teach it.
Right. You learn as you're teaching. There's many times my students have taught me so much things. I love to learn because I love to learn. I love people who love to learn. But if I tell you, you know, there's a reason. I know that it's dangerous. I've been there. I've made that mistake. I got burned, almost died. Thank you very much. If you want to do it and I told you not to, goodbye.
That's it. It's it once, you know, once maybe I'll be okay, depending on the expense, but twice, no.
Yeah. But very rarely with a student will I tell them not to do something. Because I'm there to help them learn. I'm there to magnify their learning. And
my style of energy
yeah,
is inimical to what they wanted to do, what they were doing.
Yeah.
What they were doing was the fad.
yeah, yeah. Don't come to me if you think that you're going to get superpowers. It doesn't work that way. These are about, this becomes, I think my students attribute way more to me than they should, because all I did was say, you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how, you know, this is where you, and sometimes I don't even tell them how. I say, this is where you look. This is the book you read. You know, read this book. If I tell you to read this book, you should be reading this book, even if it doesn't make sense. You know, I think I told somebody to read The Warrior's Ethos.
Oh yeah.
You know, yeah, and they're like, yeah, no, it's an integral part of what you do.
I had a teacher once, had a book. They were, all of them were like that thick and that big. And I had to read them twice.
Yep. Yeah. So that's how it works. It's not, and it works within your it's for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's directed for you. It's developed for you on a one-on-one basis. I hope to bring some of this into workshops.
We
Not the one-on-one.
We have to find a program I can afford until we start a little bit more money. I don't know how we're going to manage it, because they want $300 for a program American, which is almost $450.
Yeah. Hopefully people will see these videos and think, oh, you know, when you all buy those readings, it does so much more. It is for
we can
you.
do so much more. If we have more money, we can do so much more.
Right. It is for you. It is for you. It's directed for you. We do all this for you. But in buying the readings, we are able to do more.
Well,
and that's our
the readings, it does two things. It puts
Right.
food on our table, and it puts
That's very important too.
it makes it so that the wisdom seekers can expand.
Yes. And we want it to expand. I really want to be able to be you know, the founding member that gets to go on the cruise with all the young new readers and meet y'all in person on a cruise.
And we sit there and watch them do all the work, and we just say, oh, hi.
Yeah. And you know, and I get to do the conferences. I would like to see wisdom seeker conferences, WisCom, we can call them, or SeekCom. You know, I would like to do those, and I would like to see that in our future. But we're only at the beginning stages. So
I actually have seen in the future, long after you and I are dead, that wisdom seekers has achieved what you're dreaming.
Yeah, and I would love to be a part of that dream. I would love for, you know, and but when the readings are purchased, right? Part of that goes to that dream.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm not gonna lie to you, part of it goes directly to that dream. Part of it, and I'm not gonna lie to you, goes directly in my dog's mouth.
It would be even nicer if you made more than enough to.
Yeah, and it goes. I'm gonna have an astounding.
Buy the upgraded computer, or buy the phone that does all the magic.
Yeah, it just I need a new computer right now. Mine went through the storms and it's been completely thrown around, abused, left in the trunk in the heat and thrown on the ground, and it's starting to fail. I don't know how it's lasting us long. There's things that money provides for us. So but for me,
and the more you do this, the more we can do lives.
Right. But for me, it's the more. It's not just the money. It's the more. Yes, the money is a good benefit. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. When y'all buy those readings, I get to pay my electric bill. and my electric bill is going to be horrible, and my water bill is going to be horrible because it's freeze. Everyone's is. We know that. But, you know, but there's the more. When I get to go on these videos and I get to talk to y'all, that's the more. Okay, when I'm doing when I'm doing a written reading and the person comes back and says, "Oh, you've helped me so much," that's the more. You know, when I'm working with a person and they get that aha moment, that's the more.
That is
Yeah.
so, I just
That's
love
the
that.
whole. Yeah, that's the whole of it. It's
Mhm.
the drive that makes me get up on here when I can't pay my electric bill, when I can't pay my water bill, when I'm struggling to feed my dogs. That's what gets me on here still doing these videos. That's what gets me on here still trying to talk to y'all. I'm doing a video tonight on dreams and visions around 8 o'clock. And I'm
8
going to
o'clock your time,
cover,
right?
right,
Which is Central Time.
yes,
We have
Central.
been on actually for 2 hours.
Yeah, I probably need to go because my family is going to be like, the water, we get 2 hours of water tonight and I got to wash. So I get to do one load and the dishes.
You should maybe
excited.
pop under the shower too, so you're not itchy.
Yes, so we got to be choosy about what we do. So it might be Puppy
What you
going under
wanna
the
do is
shower.
pop under it because you're not gonna have
Yeah.
hot water.
Yeah, you're not going to have time. Puppy and I may take a shower together. So, yeah,
Puppy is
but
gonna love you.
oh, yeah, but so yeah, what was I saying? I forgot. Anyway, oh yeah, 8 o'clock tonight. I'm going to be talking about
8 o'clock Central Time.
a passage in Philippians about that peace that passes understanding. All right, we're going to talk about that, and I'm probably going to get real. That video is only supposed to last 15 minutes, but if you all watch and ask questions, you know me, I'll talk for 2 hours. But I will let y'all go right now. Thank y'all for watching. If y'all watched all the way to this point, I don't have my calendar in front of me. I don't know who else is coming on, but they're probably amazing.
Tomorrow at 12 o'clock Pacific Time, Spirit Feather and Sadie are going to have another talk. Spirit Feather is doing a new kind of reading for wisdom seekers. It's just amazing. Everything we do is amazing. But I don't have another word for it. She does these drawings of your soul, and she did one of you.
Yes.
And I looked at it.
Yes, she did. She was very accurate.
I thought, that's what I've been trying to tell you are for years. Except I always saw you just not quite so, not fat, but slightly rounder.
Yeah, that's what I was beautifully done.
Yeah. So
beautifully done. It's not an aspect a lot of people like to see, though. You know,
everybody that's had it raves about it. It just
I loved it.
Touches their soul.
Yeah. Yes, I loved it. She does really good work. If you want a good art reading, we got the new candle readings too coming up.
Yeah, they're out. They're good. They're absolutely amazing. I had a candle reading done and I was just, oh my God, so much.
I mean, and they can be fun too. I have the fun readings. I haven't done fun readings in a while. I'm going to try to make one up for March. I will put up a fun reading.
Why don't you do one for March 17th? Luck of the Irish.
I was just thinking that, see how psychic we are? I was thinking I might post one on instead of a reading, a stone consult, what crystals can bring more luck into your life.
Oh, we're going to put that up too to what reading, what stones will work for you. I was going to make it really, really cheap.
Yeah.
Because
when I do,
you want it cheap.
When I do a consultation like that, I get very specific and it takes me a lot of research. It's not like I pull that information on my helm. I'm really looking at. In that
case, I'm not going to make it that cheap.
Yeah, but it's can be a little cheap. So, but yeah, no, I just want to say that, you know, I can get really in depth with it and why. Which, speaking of coming up, I've ordered the stones for my samples for, so I'm going to do the 15-minute on Fridays. I have ordered the labradorite, the white labradorite that many people call rainbow moonstone. Not a moonstone, but we'll get into that in the video. The cornelian. I've also ordered some kyanite samples. I've lost a lot of my samples, or I wouldn't have to do this.
Right.
But I went ahead, I went ahead and ordered them. And so those will be in. So I'll have a piece to show you in the video. So those will be coming up for those who requested those stones. Because I've had some people specifically ask me to do a video on those stones. So those will be coming up. I have ordered the pieces for the samples. And so y'all can look forward to that.
So what are we doing on Monday?
Whatever we want.
You don't remember either, right?
Right. Whatever we want to do. Monday's E squared. I think we are E
But
squared.
we had something specific, but I can't remember.
We did?
Yeah,
I
we
can't
did.
remember. So whatever we want.
So
Yeah, hey, y'all show up Monday.
whatever
and
we'll
give
do
us
with that.
something. Yeah, y'all show up Monday and give us a topic. We'll go with it.
That's true. We will. We have.
Yes.
Jennifer says, I hope you ladies enjoy your weekend. Thank you for what you do. Love you both. Namaste. And then
Namaste.
you ladies are amazing.
Thank you.
And Maria says, thank you for your time and blessing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome, I should say.
That makes it, having people say nice things to us,
Mhm.
it is actually kind of nice.
It really is nice. It really is. But I am going to go because they just turned the water on. I know they turned it on.
Sorry. I was just going to say Wednesday, I do a meditation on the fly. And Thursday, 5 o'clock Pacific time, Nicola's going to be on, and our own Jennifer Schwab is going to be the guinea pig. And
Hi, Jennifer. Lovely.
On Friday, again, with some YouTube Wisdom Seekers. If you've not joined me there, you should. It's kind of fun. The guides are crazy, and I swear they're getting crazier. They give me the weirdest things to say. For instance, one lady, they showed me an image of her digging her heels in, holding onto a line and telling her, "Don't let go." Okay. And one time they gave me a song, "Row, row, row your boat," and I thought, well, that's
a good one.
And the lady came back and says, "Oh, that's cool. I sing a lot of kids' songs."
Oh, that's cool.
And then another one was the guy, they got a song for the sky, and he said it was "Climb Every Mountain."
Oh, I don't think I like that one. I like climbing mountains.
But it's quite an inspirational song. Okay. So and it's fun. Fridays are fun. I'll make sure that we laugh every single time.
Yeah, and every once in a while I'll pop on there and annoy the heck out of them. So
you annoy the heck out of Al because I can't read what they're saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember that.
It's a good thing Elle loves you, by the way.
I think next Friday I'm popping in. I'm gonna just like type the penguin marching song for her in the form of a question, just to. She's not there, is she?
Waiting for the guys to give me on the ads for marching 10 by 10.
The penguins are marching 10 by 10.
Yeah.
I'm sticking by that. Penguin invasion. So
I know.
I'm not backing down.
It's only February. You've got lots of time.
I do. Actually, honestly, this freeze we had, this Arctic blast that came.
Penguin invasion.
Yeah, that was the prelude. They were setting up. That was the test run.
So, oh God. So in Ohio,
I
think it's like 40 crocodiles froze to death.
No, Oklahoma.
They need to be careful. Yeah, they need to be careful that they're actually dead. Crocodiles can hibernate.
That's what I said. I said, are they actually dead? Because frogs.
Right.
Just, and Jen says, no, they said their hearts had stopped.
Yeah, but they
Sort of like, I'm going, oh, maybe.
yeah,
There's
they
literally
can
frozen in the lake.
right. They can literally slow their hearts down so much that it seems like they stopped.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because when you said there were 40 of them frozen in the lake, I thought, what the heck are they
Yeah.
doing in Oklahoma?
That's another thing. How did they get all the way up to Oklahoma?
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma
Is
is
somebody
so.
right? Is that like somebody forming and they just don't know how crocodiles work? Because like a lot of times people form them with their skin.
Yeah, it probably
Yeah.
maybe, or I never thought of farming. I just assumed it was
Yeah.
a zoo
Yeah.
kind of thing where you go for a walk.
It could be too. I mean, out here we can get them in our backyard.
I know Jen, my middle daughter, she used to live, spent a year in Australia
Mm-hmm.
in the North Territories, and
Uh-huh.
they're not crocodiles down there, are they?
Yeah, they're crocodiles.
Okay, and she said they just walk down the street. And she says,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really scared of them.
Yeah, we had was it a golf course in one of the casinos? Because, I'm not going to get into politics of that, but it's a funny story behind that. But anyway, a big old crocodile was just sunning himself out there. Like, make me move.
I saw a picture of a crocodile. He had to be as tall as my desk. Old, and he just sauntering across, and he said, "Yeah, he lives here."
Yeah. Well, and we don't actually have crocodiles. I'm sorry, it was an alligator. We have alligators, not crocodiles.
Not that much different.
No,
Slightly,
there's not that much different. There is some difference in their attitude.
but
Okay.
crocodiles are vicious. I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, Jen's
Crocodiles
stories about how they
right.
treat a guy for 3-4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting
Crocodiles are a little more, yeah. But alligators, we have the alligators here, and we do have them. I mean, I had a nuisance alligator in our backyard, and actually called Wildlife and Fisheries, who told me, we can't help you. It's like, okay. So as far as I know, that sucker's still out there. But he was living off, well, you know what? We had the beavers, and that's what he was eating.
Okay, so that was the worst trade-off.
Right. And so, I'm hoping now the beavers are gone, he left too, because they will leave if the food sources there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we and like over here, the meat's really something we actually eat. Some of the restaurants here even serve it. So, we have to, a lot of people are against hunting, but if you don't hunt them in this day and age, they'll overtake an area.
Well, like deer, if you leave deer alone too long, they'll just overpopulate, and then they starve in the winter time because there's not enough forage. So people who don't do their research and cry, do some research.
Yes, do some research. We don't have the natural predators because we've taken them out so we could be the predator.
Or we've brought things, starlings, for instance, do not belong in North America. They have natural predators. Burdocks are not natural to North America.
Yes, you will never believe what I had at my feeder. I had starlings at my feeder during this cold front. I didn't think they were this far down south yet.
Well, they are now.
But they are now. I had about, I was like, well, I've never seen that bird before in my life, and I've lived here 50 years. Thank you very much. And there's this black bird with spots, because they have the
white wings.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are you? Google.
Thank God.
Yeah, and you're not from around here.
But they
don't
have the natural predators, so they just proliferate.
Right, and they're
So
everywhere.
Jennifer says penguins are so adorable. I suspect I
are.
would want to meet one up close, honestly.
I do too. I love penguins. Now, real penguins are kind of terrifying, but I like the caricatures of them.
Yeah.
The yeah, the back to the alligators. Before I go, I'll tell y'all this story. When I was young, my grandfather did a lot with me that, usually is, related for boys. So I went fishing a lot. And remember one time we were out way in the marsh. And we went down, and if you've ever been in the marsh, okay, it looks like grass, just a plain of grass. This is different from a swamp.
You don't walk on it though.
Right, you don't walk on it, but it's tall grass with water cuts in it.
Yeah,
You know,
I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah, and so it's a little like being in a maze. If you don't know where you're going, you can get lost really fast. And we were fishing. Hopefully we were fishing. And we went down this cut, and the amount of alligators in that little cut was terrifying. And we were trying to back the boat out and keep our eye on all of them because we had gotten into a dangerous situation. One or two alligators probably leave you alone. That many alligators in one place, they've probably eaten all the natural prey.
So they go
And
right after you.
right, and you're nothing but walking meat on sticks.
They don't come.
Yeah. So, we had to carefully back out of there. And that's why it's important, because they don't have a natural predator. It becomes important to kind of keep their numbers down, especially around populated areas. So if you are anti-hunting,
Children would start to go missing and things like that.
right, children, cats, and my dog Pookie will go missing. Okay. So if you have an issue, you need to consider that side of it. There's no longer the thing that eats the alligators. It's extinct. We are the thing that eats the alligators. So there you go. And we do eat
Tastes
them.
like chicken?
Yeah.
Not really.
It's got more like frog. If you've ever had frog, it's
Frog
more
tastes like
frog.
chicken.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I mean, I guess you can argue that if you've never eaten a frog.
It tastes a little green, I think. I don't know
Yeah.
how else to describe it.
It's hard to explain. It's a very lean meat. You have to kind of be careful how you cook it because it can become tough and rubbery.
Yeah.
So you want to use a lot of techniques to cook it. But if you cook it right, oh,
Yes.
let me tell you.
So my ex is French, so yeah, I have tasted frog's legs.
Yeah. I love frogs legs. I'm giving away all my secrets here. But yeah, no, I will let y'all go because, like I said, we've been talking a long
Daughter's
time.
screaming at me too.
Yeah, and I can talk another hour, and my video's at 8. And I just heard them turn the water on. I heard it rush through the house. So I got about 2.5 hours to get everything done.
Yeah, I'm gonna go put my feet up too for a while because my legs are getting tired.
Okay.
So
I love y'all. Thank
a
y'all for
question before
watching.
you go.
Thank
Do you want to use Zoom to do your video? And then I don't know if Zoom helps you see what's happening so you can see the questions easier or not.
Actually, no, I never get to see the questions when I'm on Zoom.
Because we can because Elle can send you the
If she's doing it on her phone.
if you're doing it on your phone, you can't do it now.
Yeah. So probably just stick with the Facebook.
Okay.
But it'll be on Dreams and Visions tonight. And like I said, I'm going to be talking about that hard question that I couldn't answer. And then talk to you about the peace that surpasses understanding. So, okay. But I love y'all. I'm going to go flush my toilets. Bye.
Namaste. Let's go. Bye.